Good morning, friends. I hope you enjoyed the previous lectures on application of trigonometry. Yes, the writing may be a little rough, but I hope you have understood and you practiced the sums. So there is no new concept in this chapter now. It is all the application of trigonometry, the things we learned in the previous chapter. There were prove that sums in the previous chapter. So here I have taken a few prove that sums in this chapter, but most are just the application of trigonometry to determine heights and distances. Now we'll see a few examples, more examples, and understand how this application of trigonometry are applicable in daily life. So we have the first question. A spherical balloon of radius r subtends at angle alpha at the eye of an observer. Now what does it mean? If you take a spherical balloon and watch it, then there are two opposite ends of the balloon. So when you look at the ends of the balloon, it makes an angle alpha. Now if the angle of elevation of its center is beta, then find the height of the center of the balloon. So here you have to draw the diagram first. So we have taken this diagram. So what you can see here is that we have a spherical balloon, right? You can see the circle, that is a spherical balloon, and from the point P, you can see from the point P, this point, we have got two views. From the point P, we see one end of the balloon at A and other end of the balloon at B, and the angle formed between APB. So we have here the side of the balloon. What is the side of the balloon? It is angle APB. So if you look at angle APB, that are the two diametrical ends, not diametrical but ends of the balloon, which form an angle alpha. So it is forming an angle alpha, angle APB equal to alpha. Now O is the center of the balloon. You can see O is the center of the balloon, and we know any point outside the tangent. Now we will not write the whole thing down, but you know the radius is always perpendicular. So these two angles are equal, and the radius are always equal. So these two sides are equal, and this is a OP is the common arm or the hypotenuse. By RHS, the two triangles are congruent. So this angle and this angle both are equal. So we can say angle OPB is equal to alpha upon 2, because angle OPB is half of angle APB. Okay. Now this height OL, you can see this height OL, the center beta, we have to find this height of the balloon from the center. So the question asked is the angle of elevation at the center. Now you saw what is angle A. From APB, this is angle A, and the center of the balloon is O. So the angle of elevation to the point O from point P, this angle is beta. So what we have to find is the height of the center of the balloon. So we have to find OL. That is, you have to find the height OL or the height H. This is what we are supposed to find. Okay. Now how will we proceed? So we'll just take this triangle first. Which triangle? Look at triangle OPB. Observe triangle OPB. So OPB is alpha by 2. So in this triangle OPB, we have sine of the angle. Which angle? Alpha by 2. So sine alpha by 2 is opposite. So opposite is OB upon hypotenuse, that is OP. This implies, now what is sine alpha by 2? We'll just keep it that is, so we'll write here OP. We'll cross multiply OP equal to OB, but OB is the radius, which is R, upon sine alpha by 2. Is it clear? Sine alpha by 2, or we can write OP equal to R into cosec alpha by 2. Why? Because 1 upon sine alpha by 2 is cosec alpha by 2. Now we move to the next triangle. Because we want to find the height, we move to the next triangle. Which triangle? Triangle POL. Now angle OPL is beta. So we have sine beta equal to opposite, that is OL, upon hypotenuse, that is OP, implies OL equal to OP into sine beta, right? But what is OL? OL is the height we want to find. What is OP? OP is what we need here. So we have this answer. It is R sine beta into cosec alpha by 2. So this is the height of the center of the balloon. So I hope you have understood this sum. You have to find the height of the center of the balloon, but in terms of R and H, because that is what is given to us, right? So the height of the center of the balloon is R sine beta cosec alpha by 2. Moving on to the next sum. From a balloon vertically above a straight road, the angle of depressions of two cars at an instant. There are two cars at a particular time. The angles of depression are found to be 45 degree and 60 degree. If the cars are 100 meter apart, find the height of the balloon. Now this sum is like the sums we have done previously before, only the language is changing. So there is nothing new in this type of sum. So first of all we plot the diagram. So you can see here our balloon is at a position of P above the ground. So is the PQ is the height of the balloon. Let us call it H. So it is given as H. Now from this balloon at a given instant, there are two cars at point A and point B. So the angle of depression of the first car, so you know the car which is further away will have a lesser angle, the car which is near will have a bigger angle. So this is 45 car A and 60 degree car B. So this is 45 degree because alternate angles, and this is 60 degree. And these two cars are given, they are 100 meter apart. We have to find the height of the balloon. Now how will we proceed with the sum? So we can see here AQ, okay, and PQ. So like in the previous sums, we have to first choose the triangles we are taking. So we take triangle PAQ. So if you look at triangle PAQ, then tan 45 degree equal to opposite, that is H, upon, okay, I will write the opposite side first. The opposite side is PQ and the adjacent side is AQ. But since tan 45 is equal to 1 equal to PQ upon AQ. But PQ is equal to H, so I should write 1 equal to H upon AQ, right? So 1 equal to H upon AQ implies AQ is equal to H. This is equation number 1. Now look at triangle PBQ. In this we have tan 60 degree equal to opposite, that is PQ upon BQ. What is tan 60? This implies root 3 equal to PQ, that is H upon BQ, and that implies BQ equal to H upon root 3. Okay. Now we have the relationship AB plus BQ equal to AQ, right? What is AB? AB is 100 meter plus BQ. Okay, what is BQ? We have got the value of BQ also. What is the value of BQ? The value of BQ is h upon root 3. So we have h upon root 3 equal to AQ, and AQ is h from 1. So this gives us 100 equal to h minus h upon root 3. Taking the LCM, 100 equal to root 3 h root 3h minus h upon root 3 implies 100 root 3 equal to h common bracket root 3 minus 1. So what do we have now? 100 root 3 upon root 3 minus 1 equal to h. So once you reach here, what will we do? We will go by the what will we do? We'll find the conjugate. So h is equal to 100 root 3 upon root 3 minus 1 into root 3 plus 1 upon root 3 plus 1. This implies h is equal to 100 root 3 into bracket root 3 plus 1 upon a plus b into a minus b, that is 3 minus 1, that is 2. So 2 ones are 2 50s are. I'll write the answer here, you have to write it below, I'll write it here. So h is equal to 50, okay, and inside the bracket multiply this root 3 by both of them. So root 3 into root 3 is 3 plus root 3 into 1 is root 3 meter. So the height of the balloon is 50 into bracket 3 plus root 3 meter. So this sum is also looks very complicated to you maybe, but it is a very simple sum. If you follow the steps carefully, you will eventually reach the answer. So we'll move on to the next sum now. Okay, the next question is the angle of elevation of a cloud from a point h meters above the surface of the lake is alpha, and the angle of depression of its reflection in the lake is beta. Prove that the height of the cloud above the lake is h, 10 beta plus 10 alpha upon 10 beta minus 10 alpha. So in your diagram, first you will have a lake. You can see the lake. There is a cloud above the lake. Yes. So the reflection of the cloud will take in below the lake is over here. Now we have to find the height of the cloud above the lake. So we have to find Pn. Let me call it h prime. So if I call this Pn h prime, notice Pm equal to, they have taken x, but I am going to do it in a different way. I am not using this diagram. You can use this diagram if you want, but I am going to take this as h prime. Okay, so this height will be how much? H prime minus h. Why? The whole is h prime and this is h. So this whole height will be h prime. So I am not using the notation they have used. I am using my own notation. What is the notation? Pn. I have to find Pn, the height of the cloud above the lake. So Pn equal to P prime n. Because the reflection is both the same, I will call it h prime. And we have OA equal to Mn, and I will call it h. So you can see what I have done. I have taken this Pn, the whole thing as h prime, and this is equal to this, so it is equal to h. So Pm is equal to what? We have Pm equal to Pn minus Mn equal to h prime minus h. Okay, And now we can begin the sum. We take triangle POM, in which tan alpha equal to opposite PM upon OM, which implies tan alpha equal to PM. What is PM? H prime minus H upon OM, or this implies OM equal to H prime minus H upon tan alpha. Let me call this equation 1. Now look at triangle P prime OM. Here we have tan beta equal to opposite. So opposite is P prime M upon OM, implies tan beta equal to, what is PM prime? So it is H prime plus H whole thing. So we have got H prime plus H upon OM, implies OM equal to H prime plus H upon tan beta. Let me call this equation 2. Now equation 1 is OM, equation 2 is OM, so equation 1 equal to equation 2. So we have H prime upon H tan alpha equal to H prime plus H tan beta. So what does it give us? H prime tan beta minus H tan beta equal to H prime tan alpha plus H tan alpha. On rearranging, what you get? H prime tan beta minus H prime tan alpha equal to H tan alpha plus H tan beta. Taking out common, we have H prime, we take out common, so tan beta minus tan alpha equal to H common tan beta plus tan alpha. Because it is plus, I have just rearranged, and this implies H prime equal to H tan beta plus tan alpha upon, moving to the other side, tan beta minus tan alpha. And hence we have proved the sum. So I hope you have understood this sum. So now we have almost done all the sums based on application of trigonometry. You have almost covered all of them, right? Unknown distances, unknown heights, we have almost covered all the sums. Now just for the sake of revision, we'll move to a little bit sums of prove that, which you have done before, but just for the sake. Look at this sum. Tan theta plus sec theta equal to L. We have to prove sec theta equal to L square plus L upon 2L. So in this kind of sum, what do? We first write an identity. What is the identity we know? We know the identity sec square theta minus tan square theta equal to 1. So let me write sec square theta minus tan square theta equal to 1. Now we have, what is a square minus b square? Sec theta plus tan theta into sec theta minus tan theta equal to 1. So we have, but sec theta plus tan theta, it is given, it is equal to L. So we'll write here L into sec theta minus tan theta equal to 1 implies sec theta minus tan theta equal to 1 upon L. So let me call this equation 1 and let me call this equation 2. So if I am going to subtract, let me add. I will add 1 and 2. Adding 1 and 2 and see what will we get. One is sec theta plus tan theta equal to L. Other one is sec theta minus tan theta equal to 1 upon L. So when I add this both, plus tan theta minus theta gets cut to 2 sec theta equal to L plus 1 upon L. On taking the LCM, we have 2 sec theta equal to L square plus 1 upon L. And then this 2 you can bring in the denominator. So sec theta equal to L square plus 1 upon 2L. So we have proved a very simple sum. So now maintaining a little speed, but you will see how things actually work here. Now in this question we have sin theta plus cos theta equal to P, sec theta plus cosec theta equal to Q, and we are supposed to prove this. So here I will not do anything. Instead, I will first write down the LHS. So what is the LHS? The LHS is Q, P square minus 1. What is Q? Sec theta plus cosec theta. What is P square? P square means the whole square. So if I write the whole square, what do I get? Sin square theta plus 2 sin theta cos theta plus cos square theta, right? Minus 1. Yes, minus 1. Now here I'll simplify. So I will get, what is sec theta? 1 upon cos theta plus cosec theta is 1 upon sin theta. Now we have sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. So we have 1 plus 2 sin theta cos theta, and we have got a minus 1 here, minus 1. So the plus 1 and the minus 1 will get cut. If you take the LCM, what you have? Sin theta plus cos theta upon sin theta into cos theta into, what do we have here? 2 sin theta cos theta, multiplication. So sin theta, cos theta gets cut. We are left with 2. And what is sin theta plus cos theta? Sin theta plus cos theta is P. So the answer we get is 2P equal to RHS, hence proof. Is it clear? A very simple sum. So sums may look complex to you, but trigonometry is really a very fun thing. If you get used to it, you are going to like it too much. Let us see another sum. This is a very good sum. A sin theta plus B cos theta equal to C. We have to prove A cos theta minus B sin theta is under root A square plus B square plus C square. Now you will see this is a very good sum. Now what you can see here is sin theta is turned into cos theta, A cos theta, and cos theta is turned into sin theta. So what we need to do is look at equation 1. A sin theta plus B cos theta equal to C. Squaring the equation. What will you do? Square the equation. On squaring the equation, what do you get? A square sin square theta plus 2ab sin theta cos theta plus b square cos square theta equal to c square. Right? What I used? A plus b the whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now you can see here I have got a sin square theta here. I want to change it into cos theta. So what do I do? What do I do? You have understood. Instead of sin square theta, I will write 1 minus cos square theta. The middle term 2ab sin theta cos theta I will keep as it is, but here b square I will write as 1 minus sin square theta equal to c square. Now let us open the bracket. We have a square minus a square cos square theta plus 2ab sin theta cos theta plus b square minus b square sin square theta equal to c square. What I am going to do now, I am going to write a square plus b square, and the c square I am going to bring this side. So a square plus b square minus c square equal to a square cos square theta minus 2ab cos theta sin theta plus b square sin square theta. If you follow what I have done, I moved this term and this term on the other side. So we have a square plus b square plus c square. Now what you can see here, this is a square, this is b square, this is 2ab sin theta. So what is a square minus 2ab plus b square? That is a minus b the whole square. Now taking square root on both sides, take square root on both sides. So what do we have? Under root a square plus b square plus c square equal to a cos theta minus b sin theta, and hence true. Okay, so as you will keep on practicing the sums, you will get much better at it. We'll see one last sum. Now in this sum we have got cosec theta and cot theta, and we have to find cos theta. This time we don't have to find cosec or cot, we have to find cot. Now we have done a sum like this previously. We'll see what is the difference in this sum. We first write the identity cosec square theta minus cot square theta equal to 1. So a square minus b square is written as what? Cosec theta plus cot theta into cosec theta minus cot theta equal to 1. But we are given cosec theta plus cot theta is equal to p. So we have p into cosec theta minus cot theta equal to 1, which implies cosec theta minus cot theta equal to 1 upon p. So this is my equation 1 and this is my equation 2. Okay, now see what I am going to do here. First I am going to add both the equations, and you will see why I do that. Add 1 and 2. So we have cosec theta plus cot theta equal to p, cosec theta minus cot theta equal to 1 upon p. On adding them both, this gets cut. So what do we have? 2 cosec theta, yes, we have, what do we have? We have 2 cosec theta equal to p plus 1 upon p. So we have 2 cosec theta equal to p square plus 1 upon p, or we have cosec theta equal to p square plus 1 upon 2p. This I did in the previous sum, remember, of tan and sec. Now what I am going to do next is I am going to subtract 2 from 1. Now see how the sum is going to change. Again we have cosec theta plus cot theta equal to p, and cosec theta minus cot theta equal to 1 upon p. When I am going to subtract, this becomes minus, this becomes plus, and this becomes minus. So this time this gets cut. I am left with 2 cot theta equal to p minus 1 upon p, implies 2 cot theta equal to p square minus 1 upon p, which implies cot theta equal to p square minus 1 upon 2p, bringing this 2 down. So now I have got value of cosec theta and cot theta. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to write cosec theta upon cot theta equal to p square plus 1 upon 2p, p square minus 1 upon 2p. Now here the 2p 2p gets cut. But what do we have? Cosec theta is 1 upon sin theta. Cot theta is cos theta. Sorry. We have cosec theta is 1 upon sin theta. Cos theta is what? Sin theta upon cos theta. Right? We have, yeah, it was right, we have cot theta is cos theta upon sin theta, that is equal to p square plus 1 upon p square minus 1. So this gets cut. So what have we got from here? 1 upon cos theta equal to, or we should have done it directly. Okay, there's a mistake I did, we'll do it directly again. I'll just rub it from here because there is a slight mistake here, not a mistake actually, but I took it differently. So you must have got it by now what you should be taking. Instead of taking cosec theta by cot theta, take cot theta by cosec theta. Sometimes we have to improvise like this. How are we improvising? The sum we have got we'll take this time cot theta upon cosec theta. So cot theta is p square minus 1 upon 2p, cot theta is p square plus 1 upon 2p. The 2p gets cut, but we have cot theta equal to cos theta upon sin theta, cosec theta is 1 upon sin theta, and the sin theta gets cut. So cos theta upon 1 is cos theta, that is equal to p square minus 1 upon p square plus 1. There are many different ways you can do this sum, but I have chosen this method. So I am going to end this chapter over here. It is a recap of the previous chapter and this chapter. I hope you understood it thoroughly. So this chapter we are going to end here, and if you got any doubts you can always get back to me. I'll end here. Thank you.